Welcome back to Living Well After 50. Today, you'll discover the secrets to stronger bones and say goodbye to osteoporosis,
That's right.
something particularly relevant to all of us as we age.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack what osteoporosis is, why it's called a silent disease, and uncover those surprising risk factors that go way beyond just getting older. Plus, we've got actionable steps you can start taking today to boost your bone health, from diet and exercise to the latest in medical treatments. Stick around because this information could make a real difference in your life.
It really could.
Okay.
So let's start by understanding what osteoporosis actually is.
Okay.
Because it goes deeper than just, brittle bones.
Okay. Let's unmask this silent threat.
Okay.
What's going on beneath the surface?
Osteoporosis is a condition where your bones become weak and porous, almost like a honeycomb.
Oh, wow.
This makes them much more fragile and prone to fractures, even from minor bumps or falls.
Oh.
And the scary part is it often develops without any noticeable symptoms until a fracture happens.
So it's like a termite infestation.
Exactly.
The damage is hidden until something collapses.
Yes.
What are the most common fracture sites we should be aware of?
The hips, wrists, and spine are especially vulnerable.
Okay.
And these fractures can have a huge impact on your quality of life, making everyday activities like walking, dressing,
Right.
or even just getting out of bed incredibly difficult. It can really affect your independence and overall well-being.
That's a powerful point. It's not just a broken bone. It's potentially losing your freedom to live life on your own terms.
It really is.
Now, we tend to think of osteoporosis as a natural part of aging,
Right.
but you're saying it's not that simple.
Exactly. While age is a factor, particularly after 50, it's not the whole story. There's a lot more to it than just getting older.
So what else should we be aware of? Who else might be at risk?
Well, women are at a higher risk, especially after menopause. This is because estrogen, a hormone that protects bone health,
Right.
declines sharply during this time.
Okay.
It's like losing a key member of your bone building team.
Ah, those hormones. Always shaking things up. Anything else?
Family history plays a role too. If your parents or siblings have osteoporosis,
Right.
you're more likely to develop it.
Right.
It's like inheriting a blueprint for weaker bones.
Oh.
But remember, even with a family history, you're not destined to develop it. Lifestyle choices can make a huge difference.
So there's hope. What are some of those lifestyle factors that can influence our bone health?
Nutrition is crucial.
Okay.
If you're not getting enough calcium and vitamin D, your body can't effectively build and maintain strong bones. It's like trying to build a house without bricks and mortar.
And I imagine what we eat and drink can also work against us.
You got it. Things like excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, and a diet high in salt, caffeine, and soda can actually weaken your bones over time.
Really?
They're like little saboteurs chipping away at your bone strength.
So it's not just about adding good things. It's also about cutting back on the bad. This is actually empowering because it means we have some control over our bone health destiny.
Absolutely. You're not powerless against osteoporosis. By making smart choices about your lifestyle,
Yeah.
you can significantly reduce your risk. And even if you've already been diagnosed,
Right.
you can take steps to slow its progression and improve your bone strength.
Okay, so let's talk about building a bone-boosting lifestyle,
Okay.
starting with nutrition. What should we be focusing on?
Calcium and vitamin D are your bone-building superstars.
Okay,
And the good news is you can find them in a variety of delicious foods.
I'm all ears. Give us the rundown on these bone-boosting foods.
When it comes to calcium, think dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt. But if dairy's not your thing or you're lactose intolerant,
Right.
leafy green vegetables like kale and spinach are surprisingly good sources.
Oh, wow.
Just a cup of cooked spinach provides almost 25% of your daily calcium needs.
Really?
And don't forget about almonds.
Oh, yeah.
Just a handful a day can give you a significant calcium boost, along with healthy fats that are good for your heart and brain.
Wow. I never realized spinach packed such a calcium punch.
Yeah.
What about vitamin D?
Yeah.
Where can we get our fill of that sunshine vitamin?
Sunlight is the best natural source, but let's be realistic, we don't always get enough,
Right.
especially as we get older and spend more time indoors.
Yeah.
So it's important to get vitamin D from food sources too.
Okay.
Think fatty fish like salmon and tuna egg yolks, and fortified foods like milk and some cereals.
Okay.
And did you know that just 3 ounces of cooked salmon delivers over 100% of your daily vitamin D needs?
Wow.
That's impressive.
Okay, so we've got our calcium and vitamin D covered.
Yeah.
Are there any other nutrients that play a supporting role in bone health?
Absolutely. Magnesium and potassium are key players.
Well,
They help your body absorb calcium better and maintain good bone density.
mhm.
You can find them in foods like bananas, avocados,
Yeah.
nuts, seeds, and even dark chocolate. So go ahead and indulge in a square or two of dark chocolate. It's good for your bones and your mood.
Now that's my kind of health advice.
Yeah.
What about protein? We know it's important for muscle mass,
Right.
but does it also impact our bones?
It does. Protein is crucial for bone repair
Right.
and helps maintain the collagen that keeps your bones flexible and strong.
Mm.
Think of it as the glue that holds everything together.
Oh,
Lean meats, beans, lentils,
right.
tofu, and eggs are all excellent sources of protein.
So we've got a pretty delicious lineup of bone-building foods here. But earlier you mentioned some things we might want to cut back on.
Right.
Can you remind us what those bone health saboteurs are?
You bet. Excessive salt is a big one
Okay.
because it can leach calcium from your body.
Oh, really?
And you might want to reconsider those extra cups of coffee or soda.
Okay.
Too much caffeine can also interfere with calcium absorption.
Uh-huh.
And soda is often high in phosphorus,
Right.
which can actually weaken your bones over time.
Okay, and getting the message, moderation is key.
Hmm.
So we've got our diet in check.
Mm-hmm.
What about exercise? What kind of movement is best for building strong bones?
There are two types of exercise that are especially beneficial for your bones.
Okay.
Weight-bearing and muscle strengthening activities. And the great news is you don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to get started.
I'm relieved to hear that. Tell me more about these bone strengthening workouts.
Weight-bearing exercises involve working against gravity.
Okay.
Think walking, jogging, dancing, even climbing stairs.
Right.
These activities put stress on your bones, which actually stimulates them to become stronger and denser.
Interesting.
It's like giving your bones a good workout so they stay fit and healthy.
So even just taking the stairs instead of the elevator can make a difference.
Absolutely. Every little bit counts.
Wow.
And as for muscle strengthening exercises,
Yeah.
these involve using resistance to build muscle mass.
Okay.
This can be done with weights, resistance bands, or even your own body weight.
Now, I'm not talking about becoming a bodybuilder here.
Right.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of commitment.
No, not at all. Even small changes can make a difference.
Okay.
Start with something simple like carrying grocery bags, doing some gardening, or taking a brisk walk.
Right.
The key is to challenge your muscles regularly
Okay.
and gradually increase the intensity as you get stronger.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
It sounds like we can tailor these exercises to our own fitness level and lifestyle.
Yeah.
But what about those of us who have existing injuries or limitations? Is it still possible to exercise safely?
Yes, absolutely. It's crucial to work with a qualified professional, like a physical therapist
Okay.
or a certified personal trainer who specializes in working with older adults or those with specific conditions.
Mm-hmm.
They can create a customized exercise plan that takes your individual needs and limitations into account,
Okay.
ensuring you're moving safely and effectively. And remember, even small amounts of exercise can make a big difference.
Okay.
Just 30 minutes a day, most days of the week, can significantly improve your bone health.
That's great advice. Now, we've covered nutrition and exercise.
Yeah.
But what happens when those lifestyle changes aren't enough?
Right.
What are our options when we need a little extra help from medical science?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's important to know that you're not alone if you find yourself in that situation.
Mm.
There are effective medical interventions that
Uh-huh.
can help protect your bones and prevent fractures. But first things first,
Right. How do we know if it's time to seek medical advice? What are the warning signs?
if you're over 50,
Yeah.
have any of the risk factors we've discussed, or have experienced a fracture,
Okay.
it's a good idea to talk to your doctor about getting a bone density test.
What exactly is a bone density test? What does it involve?
It's a simple, painless procedure called a DEXA scan. It
Yeah.
uses low-dose x-rays to measure how dense your bones are.
Hmm.
This helps determine if you have osteoporosis or are at risk of developing it.
Okay.
Think of it like a bone health checkup.
So if the scan shows signs of osteoporosis, what happens next?
Right.
What are the treatment options available?
There are several medications that can help protect and rebuild bone density.
Mhm.
And the good news is
Yeah.
there have been significant advancements in osteoporosis treatment in recent years.
That's reassuring to hear.
Hmm.
Can you give us a rundown of these medications and how they work?
One common type is bisphosphonates.
Okay.
These medications slow down bone loss and reduce the risk of fractures
Mhm.
by inhibiting the cells that break down bone.
So they basically...
They're like a shield for your bones,
Yeah.
protecting them from further damage.
Okay.
Then there are SERMs, which are medications that mimic estrogen's role in maintaining bone density.
Okay.
They essentially trick your body into thinking it has more estrogen,
Oh,
which helps to keep your bones strong.
interesting.
And for some postmenopausal women,
Yeah.
hormone therapy might be an option.
And what about those bone-building medications we hear about? Are those an option as well?
Yes. There are newer injectable treatments that can actually stimulate new bone formation.
Wow.
They act like construction workers,
Oh.
helping your body build new, healthy bone tissue.
Wow. That's amazing. So there are different options depending on individual needs and circumstances.
Exactly. It's crucial to consult with your doctor to determine the best treatment plan for you
Right.
and to monitor for any potential side effects.
Okay.
They can help you navigate the options and find the approach that's right for you.
Now, what about supplements? I see so many calcium pills and bone health formulas out there.
Right.
Are those helpful? Or are we better off getting our nutrients from food?
That's a question a lot of people have.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that supplements should be discussed with your doctor, not self-prescribed.
Right.
While calcium and vitamin D supplements can be helpful if you're not getting enough from your diet,
Oh, yeah.
they shouldn't be a substitute for a healthy, balanced eating plan.
Okay.
There's also been some research on collagen supplements and their potential benefits for bone health.
And you'll find many multivitamins specifically formulated for bone health at your local pharmacy.
Right.
But again, talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement regimen.
Okay.
They can help you determine if supplements are right for you and guide you on the appropriate dosage.
That makes sense. It's always best to get personalized advice from a healthcare professional. Now, let's be real for a moment. Getting diagnosed with osteoporosis can be a lot to take in, both physically and emotionally.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming and even a little scary.
So what advice do you have for managing those feelings and finding support? How can we cope with the emotional side of this diagnosis?
First and foremost, don't keep it bottled up. Talk to your loved ones, share your feelings, and consider seeking professional help from a therapist if you need it.
Okay.
Practicing mindfulness can also be incredibly beneficial,
Yeah.
helping you focus on the present moment and the things you can control,
Right.
rather than dwelling on anxieties. Great advice. And what about connecting with others who are going through the same thing? Is there value in finding a support group?
Absolutely. Connecting with others who understand what you're going through can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Look for local or online support groups where you can share tips, resources, and just vent if you need to. Organizations like the National Osteoporosis Foundation are a great resource.
Yeah.
And your local health department might also have information on support groups in your area.
Right.
Remember, you're not alone in this journey.
Yeah.
There are people who understand and want to help.
That's really comforting to hear. And I think that's a great place to wrap up part 1 of our deep dive into osteoporosis. We've covered a lot of ground today, from understanding what osteoporosis is to exploring risk factors, lifestyle changes, and medical treatments.
But we're just getting started. There's so much more to discover about living well with strong bones,
Right.
even after 50.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into bone health and answer your burning questions. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Living Well After 50. Before the break, we were discussing the importance of finding support and connecting with others who are navigating osteoporosis.
It's so easy to feel isolated when dealing with a health challenge.
Right?
But knowing you're not alone can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
It can be empowering to share experiences and tips with others who truly understand.
Exactly. We encourage everyone to check out the National Osteoporosis Foundation's website.
Oh, yeah, that's a great resource.
They have a wealth of resources, including information on support groups both online and in person.
And don't forget to ask your doctor or local health department about support groups in your area.
Good point.
Okay, now I know our listeners are eager to hear more practical advice on how to boost their bone health.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's dive back into some actionable steps you can take today.
Okay, so we talked about the importance of calcium and vitamin D for strong bones.
But how much do we actually need? Are we talking mega doses here?
The recommended daily intake varies depending on your age and gender.
Okay.
For women over 50, it's around 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day.
Okay.
And for vitamin D adults up to age 70 need about 600 international units daily, while those over 70 should aim for 800 IU.
So how do we make sure we're hitting those targets? Are we talking about chugging milk all day long?
Not at all. Remember those delicious calcium-rich foods we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
Like leafy greens, almonds,
Right.
and fortified cereals?
Okay.
Incorporating those into your diet is a great start.
Right. And for vitamin D, fatty fish, egg
Yeah.
yolks,
Yes.
and fortified foods are good options.
Yes,
And of course, safe sun exposure can help boost vitamin D levels naturally.
absolutely.
But
But always remember to protect your skin with sunscreen,
yes, of course.
especially for seasoned folks.
Good point.
Now, I know some people struggle to get enough calcium and vitamin D from their diet alone. In those cases, supplements can be helpful, but it's crucial to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements.
They can assess your individual needs and recommend the right dosage for you. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about exercise. We touched on the importance of weight-bearing and muscle strengthening activities. Can you give us some specific examples that don't require becoming an Olympic athlete?
Of course. When it comes to weight-bearing exercises,
Yeah.
walking is a fantastic option. It's accessible, it's low impact,
Right.
and you can do it pretty much anywhere.
It's something most of us can easily fit into our routines.
Right.
Even if it's just a brisk walk around the neighborhood.
Exactly. Other good examples include jogging, dancing, hiking, and even climbing stairs.
Okay.
And for muscle strengthening, lifting weights is a classic choice,
Okay.
but you don't need to go heavy.
Right.
Even light weights or resistance bands can provide a good challenge.
So no need to become a power lifter. That's a relief.
Exactly. Body weight exercises,
Oh, yeah.
like squats and push-ups, are also effective.
Okay.
And the beauty of these exercises is that you can do them at home with no gym membership required.
That's really appealing.
Don't forget about yoga. It's great for improving strength balance and
Yeah.
flexibility.
It's a wonderful option, especially as we age.
Yeah.
But what about people with existing injuries or limitations? Is it still possible for them to exercise safely?
Absolutely. In those cases, it's crucial to work with a qualified professional like a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer who specializes in working with older adults or those with specific conditions.
They can tailor a program that's both safe and effective.
Exactly. They can create a customized exercise plan that takes your individual needs and limitations into account. And remember, even small amounts of exercise can make a big difference. It's never too late to start.
It's so encouraging to hear that. Now, you mentioned the benefits of exercise go beyond just stronger bones. What else can we expect to gain from regular physical activity?
Regular exercise improves your balance,
Well, that's important.
reduces your risk of falls, boosts your mood. Yeah.
And increases your energy levels. It's a win-win all around.
Okay, so we've covered the physical aspects, but what about the emotional impact of this diagnosis? It's not just about our bones, it's about how we feel about this change.
It's perfectly normal to feel a range of emotions after being diagnosed with osteoporosis. Fear, anxiety, even anger. These are all valid feelings.
Yeah.
And it's crucial to allow yourself to feel those emotions without judgment. Don't bottle them up.
Right.
Talk to someone you trust, whether it's a friend, family member, therapist, or a support group. Sharing your feelings can help you process them and feel less alone.
And there are organizations like the National Osteoporosis Foundation that offer not only medical information,
Right.
but also emotional support and guidance. They have online forums, educational materials,
Right.
and even helplines staffed by trained professionals.
Don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it.
You know, one thing that helps me when I'm feeling overwhelmed is focusing on what I can control. It's easy to get caught up in worrying about things we can't change.
But shifting our focus to the things we can do empowers us to take action.
That's such a powerful mindset shift. We can choose to eat a healthy diet, get regular exercise, manage our stress levels, and follow our doctor's recommendations.
And those choices can have a significant impact on our bone health and overall well-being.
Exactly. We become active participants in our health journey,
Yeah.
not passive victims of osteoporosis.
Now, before we move on, I want to address a common concern that many people have about osteoporosis. The fear of falling. Especially as we get older, falls can become more dangerous, and a bone fracture can be a serious setback.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it's important to be proactive about fall prevention. We've already talked about exercise and how it improves strength and balance,
Right.
but there are other things you can do as well.
Okay, what are they?
Make sure your home is well lit,
Okay.
remove tripping hazards like loose rugs and clutter,
Mm-hmm.
and use assistive devices like grab bars in the bathroom if needed.
Yeah, good idea.
And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. If you're feeling unsteady, ask someone to hold your arm or carry heavy items for you.
Those are all great practical tips.
Yeah.
And what should we do if, despite our best efforts, we do experience a fall?
Don't brush it off.
Okay.
Falls can sometimes indicate underlying health issues or a need for adjustments to your home environment or lifestyle.
Oh,
Talk to your doctor if you've had a fall, even if you weren't seriously injured.
okay.
They can assess the situation, rule out any underlying problems, and help you prevent future falls.
I think this conversation has been incredibly insightful and helpful.
Good.
We've covered a lot of ground today. Nutrition, exercise, emotional well-being, finding support, and reducing the risk of falls.
It's a lot.
It's all about empowering you to live well after 50, even with osteoporosis.
Exactly. We want you to feel informed,
Yeah.
supported, and confident in managing your bone health.
So stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap up our deep dive into osteoporosis with even more practical tips and insights, including a discussion about the role of genetics and healthy habits that can help protect your bones for years to come. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Living Well After 50. We're wrapping up our deep dive into osteoporosis with some final tips and insights to help you live your best life after 50.
We've talked about nutrition, exercise, and medical treatments for managing osteoporosis, but there are also some everyday habits that can either help or hinder your bone health. Let's dive into those.
So what are some of the things we can do on a daily basis to support our bones, besides eating all that delicious calcium-rich food and feeding in our workouts, of course?
Well, we've mentioned the importance of not smoking and limiting alcohol consumption. Those are definitely bad for your bones and your overall health, for that matter.
Right, those are habits we know we should kick to the curb, but what about some of the less obvious things?
One thing that often gets overlooked is the importance of sleep. Believe it or not, during sleep, our bodies repair and rebuild tissues, including bone tissue.
So if we're not getting enough sleep, our bones might not be getting the chance to properly repair themselves. That makes sense.
Exactly. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. It's like giving your body the downtime it needs to recharge and rebuild, including those all-important bones.
Easier said than done for some of us, right? I know I've had my share of sleepless nights. Any tips for getting a better night's rest?
Absolutely. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine can work wonders. Try taking a warm bath, reading a book, or listening to calming music before bed. Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool, and avoid caffeine and alcohol before bed. Those can really disrupt your sleep.
Those are great tips. Now, what about other lifestyle habits that might be harmful to our bones? Are there any hidden culprits we should be aware of?
You know, that morning cup of coffee many of us rely on to get going? Well, while coffee has its benefits, excessive caffeine intake can interfere with calcium absorption. It's like having a leaky bucket. You're putting the calcium in, but some of it is slipping away.
So moderation is key. No need to ditch our coffee rituals altogether.
Exactly. You don't have to give up your coffee altogether, but try to limit your intake to a reasonable amount and maybe switch to tea in the afternoon. It's a good way to cut back on caffeine without giving up that warm beverage ritual.
And what about soda? I've heard that's bad for bones too. Is there any truth to that?
That's true. Soda is often high in phosphorus, which can actually leach calcium from your bones, making them weaker over time. Plus, all that sugar isn't doing your overall health any favors.
So it's best to stick to water, tea, or other healthier beverages. Our bones and our waistlines will thank us for it. Now, we've talked a lot about the importance of weight-bearing exercise, but what about those times when we're not working out? Does that have an impact on our bone health too?
You're hitting on a really important point. Even if you're getting regular workouts, sitting for long periods can still have a negative impact on your bone density. It's like putting your bones in hibernation. They're not getting the stimulation they need to stay strong.
So even if we have a desk job or spend a lot of time relaxing at home, we need to make sure we're not just parked in a chair all day.
Exactly. Make sure to get up and move around every hour or so, even if it's just for a few minutes. Set a timer on your phone or computer to remind yourself to take breaks. Those movement snacks throughout the day can really add up when it comes to bone health.
Great idea. It's like hitting the reset button for our bones, reminding them to stay active. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on something we haven't discussed yet. The role of genetics in osteoporosis. If it runs in your family, are you doomed to develop it too?
That's a question I hear a lot, and it's understandable to be concerned if osteoporosis runs in your family. While you may have a higher risk, it doesn't mean you'll definitely get osteoporosis. Genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger.
That's reassuring to hear. So even if we have a family history of osteoporosis, we're not powerless against it. We can take steps to protect our bones.
Absolutely. If you have a family history of osteoporosis, talk to your doctor about your concerns. They can assess your individual risk factors and recommend preventive measures. And remember, even if you have a genetic predisposition, making healthy lifestyle choices can still significantly reduce your risk.
So don't feel like you're destined to follow in your family's footsteps. You have the power to create your own bone health story. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into osteoporosis, but the key takeaway is this. Osteoporosis doesn't have to define your future.
With the right knowledge, tools, and support, you can maintain strong bones and live a full, active life well beyond 50.
It's about taking charge of your health, making informed choices, and embracing those healthy habits that make you feel your best.
Remember, it's never too late to start taking care of your bones. Even small changes can make a big difference over time.
So start incorporating those healthy habits today. Eat a balanced diet, get regular exercise, manage your stress levels, get enough sleep, and don't be afraid to seek medical advice when needed.
And remember, you're not alone. There are countless resources available to support you, from the National Osteoporosis Foundation to local support groups. There are people who understand and want to help.
Reach out, connect with others, and take charge of your bone health today. And don't forget to sign up for our free Living Well After 50 newsletter for even more helpful tips and insights delivered straight to your inbox. We're committed to providing you with the knowledge and support you need to thrive in this exciting chapter of your life. Thanks for joining us.
Take care and live well.